There's more to your favorite game than meets the eye. Every video game has a secret. There are mysteries, Easter eggs, and out-of-bound areas that you were and weren't supposed to find. From old games to new ones, join me as I uncover the weird, creepy, and even the amusing things people have found in games. This is Missing Number. Be sure to subscribe, like, and click the bell icon for more episodes. And if you know any video game Easter eggs, secrets, or mysteries, be sure to let me know in the comments below or through my social media accounts. All of the links are in the video description. Not knowing what's hiding in the darkness can be terrifying, and in Army Men World War Final Front, there is something that lurks in the darkest depths of the unknown. In the Scorpion Tomb Runner level, you'll find yourself in a mysterious pyramid filled with strange puzzles, deadly traps, and enemy soldiers. The level has kind of a creepy atmosphere and is eerily quiet. At one point, you'll enter a large room filled with enemies and statues. If you can manage to clear out the room and head to the steps in the distance, you'll see sarcophagi and hieroglyphics on a wall. For a pyramid level, they don't seem out of the ordinary, but looks can be deceiving. If you go prone and crawl toward the center of the hieroglyphic wall, you'll actually be able to go through the wall, and on the other side, you'll end up in a large empty corridor. At the end of the hall is just darkness, and should you be brave enough to venture toward the darkness, this is what happens.
Wazzah! 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 I'm next in the queue.
This cheeky Easter egg is a reference to a Budweiser commercial that first aired in 1999. The ad featured a bunch of guys talking to one another on the phone, comically saying the word, "What's up?"
Hello? Hey, who? What's up? Nothing, B. Just watching the game, having a bud. Wazzah! Wazzah! Yo, who's that? Yo, pick up the phone. Hello? Wazzah! Wazzah!
It ended up going viral and became a cultural phenomenon as it was parodied in movies, TV shows, and YouTube channels like Scary Movie, Friends, The Simpsons, Annoying Orange, The Office, and as recently, 2018's Ant-Man and the Wasp. Even the Dudley Boys integrated it in one of their wrestling moves back in the day. The Budweiser commercial is actually based on an award-winning short film called True. It was created by a man named Charles Stone, who in a past interview about True, said that the point of the guy saying, "Wazzah!" was to show the simplicity of language and how just one word can make friends connect, bond, and love one another. Stone said, "It's all about guys saying nothing and totally saying everything. It's truly profound."
Wazzah! Wazzah! Wazzah!
Meanwhile, in the 1941 counterattack game, according to the cutting room floor, this is a Scroll 3 filler tile, which shows a guy either A. drinking a beer, B. holding a microphone, or C. flipping you off. I don't know about you, but I know which one I'm choosing. The dark depths of the ocean hides many secrets. Throughout the years, deep-sea treasure hunters have unearthed ancient discoveries like the gold coins of San Jose, Blackbeard's legendary ship, and even the lost Egyptian city of Thonis. In 2002, something else was discovered that utterly mystified Super Mario Sunshine players, and to this day, folk tales about the discovery continue to be passed on. There's a peculiar level in Super Mario Sunshine where you get sucked into a small glass bottle and have to collect 8 red coins. The underwater level, aptly called Red Coins in a Bottle, is activated by talking to an Elder Noki, which are small humanoid creatures that live in a place called Noki Bay. The Elder Noki, who needs help cleaning the water in the area, teaches Mario how to use a diving suit by sucking him into the aforementioned water-filled bottle to collect red coins. Once inside, all the way at the bottom is a strange stone structure that can be reached. At first, it doesn't seem to serve any purpose, but if you take the time to explore, you'll find that inside the ruins is a long narrow hole, and at the end is a tiny door. It's unknown why this door is here. Perhaps this is the home of a Noki, or the door is just for decoration, but whatever the case, the door can't be opened. As such, this seems like a dead end, but there is a way to go through the door via a hover clipping glitch, which involves clipping through the ceiling by hovering with Mario's water pack. Alternatively, you can peek behind the door without actually going through it by rotating the camera and clipping through the geometry. So what's behind door number 1? Should you use any of the 2 clipping methods, this is what you'll see. A book laying on the ground. It has a brown cover with a low-res shabby texture, and on the cover is a whitish rectangular label with black smudges. Additionally, multiple colors like teal and yellow can be seen on the book's spine. So what is this book? Why is it here? And what's written inside? Is there a message? Does it contain a clue? Does it unlock anything? No one actually knows. You can't read it, pick it up, or interact with it, and it has no collision detection. There are reportedly no other books like this in the game, making it even more of a rare oddity. One of the earliest documented sightings of the book dates back to August 19th, 2002, when a user named GameCuberZ posted a thread on IGN's forums relaying that someone on GameFAQs' message boards named Lord Zero Empire posted that they found a book in Super Mario Sunshine. According to GameCuberZ, Lord Zero Empire's post was written on August 15th, 2002, which would mean that the book was discovered less than a month after Super Mario Sunshine came out in Japan on July 19th, 2002. North American and European versions didn't come out until August 26th and early October, respectively. Therefore, the book seems to have been first discovered in the Japanese version of the game. Players would eventually find the book in international copies of the game as well. Speculation ran wild as to the book's purpose and how to get it. Some thought it was an Easter egg, a hidden photo album, or a secret way to get to the other chapters in the game. Meanwhile, others believed it unlocked things like Luigi, a new device for Mario, possibly the vacuum from Luigi's Mansion, or a special Mario trophy for Super Smash Bros. Melee. Ways of potentially acquiring the book included pressing a switch in the game to drain the water and opening the door, getting all shine sprites, changing the console's date and time, using a Nintendo e-reader card, or having a Luigi's Mansion save file on your memory card, just like how having a Pikmin save file unlocked an Olimar trophy in Super Smash Bros. Melee. Many players also surmised that the book contained a developer message or a clue to the next Mario game. Mario's creator, Shigeru Miyamoto, did purportedly tease his upcoming games in the past. In 1991, Miyamoto reportedly said, "I don't know what Mario will look like next. Maybe he will wear metallic clothing with a red hat." 5 years later, the metal cap made its debut in Super Mario 64. Then there's this intriguing quote that Miyamoto reportedly expressed in Nintendo Power magazine. "What if everything that you see is more than what you see? The person next to you is a warrior, and the space that appears empty is a door to another world. What if something appears that shouldn't? You either dismiss it or accept that there is more to the world than you think. Perhaps it really is a doorway, and if you choose to go inside, you'll find many unexpected things." Is it a coincidence that the quote aligns almost perfectly with finding the book and opening the door in Super Mario Sunshine? Going down the rabbit hole even further, even more obscure theories can be found. Some believe the book is tied to other Nintendo games that use doors and/or books as a theme or plot device, like Super Mario Galaxy, Yoshi's Story, Super Paper Mario, and Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. For the latter, some even posited that a book that's found in Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is the same book that's in Super Mario Sunshine. This diary is part of a side quest where you are tasked with bringing the diary back to the owner, who's a ghost. And upon finding and reading the diary, this will happen. Other theories include the book being connected to Wario's world, or that the room the book is in is actually Waluigi's hidden underground lair, and that there's a negative world you can enter to drain the water and go inside the room. The hypothetical negative world would be akin to the minus world in Super Mario Bros. Furthermore, an IGN forum user named Harbartris even said that they generated a negative of an image of this door and found something red at the bottom of it, which could indicate that the door itself holds a secret. Various users posted images of the door, with some claiming that they could even see a face on it that resembles Luigi, Wario, Bowser, or Waluigi. It's a stretch to say the least, as this is likely a case of pareidolia. The first documented sighting of the face on the door seems to originate from a GameFAQs user named Axe Denied, who also claims to be the first person to discover the aforementioned hover clipping glitch that allows Mario to clip through the door. On IGN's forums, the same user apparently goes by the name Legacy Account. Another theory about the book is that it was somehow tied to the next Mario game for the Game Boy Advance via the GameCube Game Boy Advance link cable. Or maybe the book was for decoration purposes only. But then why hide it behind a locked door where most players will never see it? Did Nintendo simply forget to remove the book, just like Daisy's third eye in Super Smash Bros. Melee? Interestingly, as seen in this screenshot, the book can still be found in Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which contains HD ports of Super Mario 64, Super Mario Galaxy, and Super Mario Sunshine. One person even speculated that perhaps the door would unlock by playing all three games in All-Stars. Eventually, hoaxes on how to open the door and grab the book surfaced online, which usually involves ridiculously elaborate and specific requirements. With all of these tantalizing theories swirling online, there's one particular story that explains the origin of the book, and it's widely accepted to be true. The story is that the book was originally supposed to be in the Japanese version of the game, where the player had to find and retrieve the book and bring it back to the Elder Noki, who would give you a shine sprite as a reward. However, the developers thought it was too easy to find the book, and with barely any development time left, Nintendo decided to make players collect 8 red coins instead. With the book now serving no purpose, and with no time left to reconfigure the entire level, Nintendo decided to simply just hide the book and lock it away behind an unopenable door. Several worlds were reportedly cut from Super Mario Sunshine's final release, so it's not inconceivable that the book mission was left on the cutting room floor. Therefore, this tome is believed to be a leftover beta asset that was never meant to be seen by the public. However, when players eventually did uncover the book, it was said that the text contained a message written in Japanese that roughly reads, "You have no life, signed Shigeru Miyamoto." It's an amusing, yet shockingly crude thing to write from a man like Miyamoto, who is known to be a friendly, positive person. It's speculated that the message, which some claim is on the book's texture, is for players who decided to hack the game or use glitches to find the book, which a company like Nintendo probably frowns upon. However, upon taking a closer look at the tome, courtesy of a YouTuber named SwankyBox, no text can be seen on the cover. There are black smudges on the label, which could have possibly been text at one point, but no visible words or Japanese characters can be seen. Furthermore, according to the cutting room floor, the book isn't a separate item. It's part of the level's geometry and is connected to the door. so both the door and book are one big object and are purportedly unnamed. Therefore, it doesn't seem likely that there's actually anything written inside the book. There is one GameFAQs user named CheapFreak47 who, in response to a thread about the book and door, states, "It's not much, that book. All it does is appear on the map screen. When you select it, it says, 'Error, message could not be loaded.' I know, I hacked it." This claim, however, is highly dubious and could not be corroborated by anyone else online. While all of the claims and theories are either false or unlikely at this point, there is a possibility that the story of the book being a scrap mission is actually true. The theme song for this level is called Sky and Sea, but the original name of the song was apparently called The Book in the Bottle. Looking up the theme song under both names on YouTube brings up the same exact song. And then, there are these voice lines from the game.
Another door? Hello, door.
There are numerous doors in Super Mario Sunshine, so Mario may not be referencing this specific door, but if the game has recorded lines just for doors, then that means they must have some kind of significance. Interestingly, a YouTuber named Nietan, who uploaded a video of them opening and closing a door multiple times, wrote in the video description, "It seems that the commonly known door-based voice lines from Super Mario Sunshine were actually used, or intended to. By bugging out a door and opening it mid-animation, I found that the only reason the door voice lines are unused is because the dive voice line is put on top of it." Even after nearly 20 years, the mystery of the book remains unsolved. The place where the book is located is even kind of weird and mysterious. The locked empty room, the odd ruins, the glass bottle, it's all very strange. Even accessing Noki Bay is unusual, since in order to enter it, you have to stand in a specific spot in Delfino Plaza and look up at the sun. Some players online even expressed how odd and creepy Noki Bay is. It's kind of empty and devoid of life. It reuses a lot of assets, and it's the only place that can't be clearly seen from any other location. What's more, Noki Bay has the deepest water in the game, which would make it a perfect place to hide something. According to the cutting room floor, Super Mario Sunshine has unused bitmaps to keep track of the game's pollution, or goop, which are hazardous yet washable paint-like residue found in Super Mario Sunshine's levels. Some goop maps are just placeholders, where developers would leave notes and doodles, and there's one particular map that adds credence to the claim that even a family-friendly game like Super Mario Sunshine could contain crude messages. This scoop map of Noki Bay contains a Japanese character meaning stupid. This is supposedly written since the map is entirely underwater, and so having washable goop that's already underwater wouldn't make much sense, and therefore is stupid. Of course, this message isn't meant for players, but some believe that if something like this is buried in the game's files, then perhaps there are more messages like this in the game. The launch of No Man's Sky in 2016 was a failure. It did not deliver on promises like online multiplayer, wild herds stampeding around the many worlds, and most notably, it was missing this. A giant sandworm. The giant beast was seen in the game's announcement trailer in 2013, and for years, players literally searched the entire universe for the elusive creature, but to no avail. Disappointed fans would eventually learn that the sandworm was scrapped from the game since, according to the game's director, Sean Murray, it was overpowered and would kill players out of nowhere during development testing. Murray told Waypoint in a 2018 interview that it just, quote, wasn't very fun. And given the amount of fixes and updates the game already needed at the time, the sandworm just wasn't a priority, and so the saga of the legendary sandworm came to a close. That is, until 2020, when a No Man's Sky update called Origins was released in September of last year. Players stumbled upon this, to their shock and awe.
It's taking this like alien terrain though. Oh my god! There it is! Jesus Christ! What the f is that?
The giant sandworm in all its glory. Like in the announcement trailer, the sandworms are massive and burrow underground, but notably, they can also hover in the air before going back down into the ground. And they're not only found in barren deserts, but also in other places, like lush, frozen, volcanic, swamp, and radioactive biomes. Specifically, according to a wiki page called No Man's Sky Discoveries, sandworms can be found in the Euclid Galaxy on planets like Asen Tau, Dondu, and Esperi. There's a random chance of encountering these elusive beasts, and when you try to scan them, they won't get added to the codex, or count as a discovered species like other creatures. They don't have a species name, height, or weight, nor do they have standard information like normal animals. The worm goes by many names: colossal being, giant parasite, immortal worm, the consumer, ceaseless burrower, and unstoppable nematode, among others. The worm is said to consume things like sand, minerals, magma, sentinels, gek, other gargantuan, and even entire trade posts and lost starships. Sandworms look similar to flying snakes, sea snakes, and eel sharks. There are different versions of the worms, with each having slightly different scales, spikes, and fins. It's reported that there are 3 body types, 4 head types, 6 wing types, and 1 tail type. Despite the size and intimidating nature of the beasts, sandworms can't damage the player, as they'll clip right through them. Players also can't kill the sandworm, and the creatures don't leave any holes in the ground or change the terrain. While sandworms are random encounters, Polygon speculated that you have a higher chance of running into the beasts on planets with high activity or with a lot of buildings. Strangely, it seems that sandworms can also be found in hazard containment fields, which are rare, mysterious cubicle cells floating in space. According to No Man's Sky Discoveries, the cells contain an asteroid larvae, sentinel walker, and sandworm. Shooting the hazard containment fields will reportedly give you an item that you can sell. The giant sandworms are reminiscent of the ones in Dune, which is precisely why they were removed from No Man's Sky at launch. Murray explained to Eurogamer in a September 2020 interview, quote, "It's funny, we showed the sandworm in a trailer before release, and you know, we were very naive at the time, because we would just work on stuff, and then record a video of what we had working, and then show that off to everyone, and not really think, like, is this going to ship? Because we're developers, and we just assumed everyone knows how development works. The sad truth is, the sandworm wasn't very fun during development. You got a little taste of how the people must have felt hunting for spice in Dune. You know, just suddenly getting killed by these things with no explanation. And then ever since then, about every 6 months or so, somebody on the team will be like, come over, have a look, and they've put the sandworms back in. We've had multiple stabs at it, and this time, it just clicked. There are things, and it is a joy to work on them, where we know the community is gonna love this, and sandworms are one of those. These poor sandworms have been put on a pedestal over the last few years, but it's really fun, and it kind of makes you excited about the work, because you're doing something that you know people are gonna love." In real life, 6-foot-long predatory worms that dug underground did exist 20 million years ago. The worms would hide under the sand and snatch unsuspecting fish that passed by, pulling them under the sea floor, never to be seen again. What other secrets lie out there? If you know any more gaming mysteries or Easter eggs, let me know in the comments below. You can also contact me through any of my social media accounts, or you can email me at missingnumbermystery@gmail.com. Additionally, you can check out my other YouTube channel called The PK Paul Show, and if you like to hang out with me and watch some fun gaming streams, you can catch me on Twitch at PK Paul. All of the links are in the video description, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more episodes of Missing Number.